Hello guys, we are back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us go through the next concept. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about the concept of a congestion control and how exactly we reduce this congestion control. Okay, so to be clear, what exactly is congestion control, guys? So if you take a network, so when multiple nodes or multiple devices are communicating among themselves, so there will be some routes which are having some jam, right? Yes, so that jam is nothing but something like traffic jam only. So basically those routes are already filled with data and you are still sending the data, which is going to increase the congestion and the data transfer time will really increase, right? Yes, so that concept is nothing but congestion, guys. So basically when this congestion occurs, so we need to control it, right? So always prevention is better than cure, we'll be saying. So in the same way, before even occurrence of the congestion, we will take care of it. So that concept is nothing but congestion control. Okay, so in simple words, congestion refers to a network state where the message or the message traffic becomes so heavy that slow down that network response time. So it is going to waste your time and the response time will be really low, guys. Okay, so congestion control refers to techniques and mechanisms that can be either preventing before it happens or remove the congestion. So one of the best method for this is controlling the window size, guys. So to be clear, what is window size, guys? Okay, so let us take a small example. Okay, so assume that the sender's window size is this much, guys. So assume that this is the sender's window size. So receiver will also have some window size, right? Yes. Okay, so in the same way, so whenever the data is traveling, so this data will travel, right? And this will be stored in this buffer at the moment of time. So these are called as a windows, guys. Okay, so when the data is coming from the upper layers, it will be stored in this window, and when the data is transferred in the network and is received by here, it will be stored in this particular window. Got it? Yes. So both the sender and receiver, both of them will have the windows, guys. And similarly, if there is some network, so assume that this is a network, so this network will also have a window size, guys. Okay, so then your question will be, okay, so if there are this many windows, so if the sender wants to send the data, so it should send which window size data. So basically which window size among the congestion the network and the receiver. So among these two, which is minimum, so that size the sender should fix himself, guys. Got it? Yes. So the size of the sender window is determined by minimum of receiver window comma congestion window, because which is minimum, only that much data could be sent via him, right? Yes, so that is the reason why we always take the minimum of both of them. Got it? Yes. Okay, so now what is receiver window? So receiver window is nothing but sender should not send data greater than the receiver window size, otherwise it leads to the dropping of TCP segments, which can cause TCP retransmission. Got it? Yes. Similarly, what is congestion window? Congestion window is nothing but the window size which everyone in the network is agreeing. So basically this is the good value, guys. So sender should not send data greater than congestion window size, otherwise it leads to dropping of TCP segments and which will cause retransmission. Okay, so if you take a small example here, so assume that we are going to find the sender's window. So assume that the network's congestion window is 32 bits and the receiver's is 64 bits. So among these two, which is minimum? 32 bits. So I will fix my sender window as 32 bits. Got it? Yes. Okay, so now you got some basic idea, right? Yes. Okay, so to control TCP congestion, there are three different phases, guys. So to be clear, I will be explaining you this whole three phases in a single diagram, but please concentrate, guys. The only thing which I will be asking you is concentrate on this particular method, because once you understand this method, it will be really a piece of cake for you, guys. So any question given on this particular topic, you can solve it really easily. Okay. Yes. Okay, so basically we are having three different stages, guys. So the first stage we call it as a slow start. Okay, so to be clear, only the name will say it is a slow, guys, but if to be clear, it grows exponentially, guys. Okay, so what we do here is so first of all, let me draw a small diagram. Okay, so assume that okay, this is our time, guys. Okay, so this factor is nothing but the time, and this count indicates the window size or window size which we are sending. Okay, yes. So where we initially start is so from sender we send one packet first, guys, or one segment. To be clear, let us call it as one segment. So I will send one segment. So if I go, so remember one more thing here, we will be having the concept of threshold also. So assume that the threshold is a 32 here, threshold. Okay, yes. So initially I will start, so I will send one packet in the first 1 second. Okay, so if that packet's acknowledgement has been received successfully, then I will double my speed. So instead of one segment, I will send two segments now. Okay, similarly, if this two segments acknowledgement has also received successfully, then I will double it and I will send four segments now. Okay, so again, if it is again successful, I will send 8 segments now. So if it is again successful, I will send 16 segments now. If again it is successful, I will send 32 segments now. Got it? Yes. So now if you observe carefully, we reached our particular threshold 32, right? Yes. So this stage until you reach 32 is called as a slow start state, guys. Okay, so once you reach that threshold, what we do is we will increment from now on with the one slot, guys. So basically, I will now send after 1 second, I will send 33 frames or 33 segments. After that, I will send 34. After that, I will send 35. So in that way, step by step, I will increase. Okay, okay. So now you got an idea, right? Yes. So this phase is called as congestion avoidance. So basically here we are trying to avoid the congestion, because here what exactly threshold states is, so up to this point it's okay to rise really speed, so you can drive your bike up to this distance really speedily, but after that there is a chance that there could be some accident prone area, so go slowly. So that is what it is happening here. So initially you will rise your bike at really high speed, and then you will, after you reach this particular speed or that particular spot, you will go slowly, you will increase it slowly. So that is nothing but a congestion avoidance, guys. Got it? Yes. So here we will add one by one. Here we are adding exponentially. Got it? Yes. So now your question will be, okay, so we will continue like that for infinity. Okay. So the question is, at some moment the congestion will occur, right? Yes. So assume that at exactly 35 the congestion has been occurred. Okay, so once the congestion has been occurred, what we do is you will drop to your speed, you will completely drop your speed to 1, guys, to be clear. So to be clear, they say it is 0, but it is always better to take it 1. Okay, so we will drop it to 1 and we will make the threshold to half of our current value. So our current value is 35. So now the new threshold will be 17. So it is usually 17.5, but 17.5 isn't a good thing, right? Yes. So that is the reason why let us write it 17. Okay. Okay, yes. So let us start. So now what I will do, from 1 I will go to 2, from 2 I will go to 4, from 4 I will go to 8, from 8 I will go to 16. Once I reach 16, I understood that 17 is my point where I should go slowly. So now I will slowly start my increasing. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right? Yes. So few students will be like, okay, so isn't it a bad thing that you moved from 35 to 0, right? So that doesn't really look good, right? Yes. So that is the reason why there is one more method called as a fast recovery, guys. So what we do in fast recovery is, instead of directly dropping it to 1, so assume that now the congestion has been occurred at 25. So you will do 25 by 2. That is our threshold. Assume it as a 12. So now instead of going to 0 or 1, I will go to 12 only. And I will increase 1 by 1 from here. So this concept is nothing but a fast recovery. Got it? Yes. Okay. So now you are getting some idea, right? So how exactly this congestion control mechanism is working? Yes. So this is nothing but the best method for congestion control policy, guys. Okay. So the first concept is a slow start phase. So it is exponential increase. So you will recall the things, guys. From the same diagram you can observe, right? Yes. Okay, so initially the sender will set his congestion window to size maximum segment size to 1. Okay, so he will be sending one segment at a time. Okay, so once that first segment is successful, he will double his speed and he will send 2. After that, if it is again successful, he will send 4. If it is again successful, he will send 8, then 16, then 32, then 64, in that way until the threshold. Okay, so if you want me to draw in terms of packets, it will look in this way, right? Yes. Okay, yes. And one more thing, a few students will be saying like, okay, so if it is receiving 2 packets, will it send 2 acknowledgements? So there is a concept of cumulative acknowledgements also, guys. So instead of sending 2 acknowledgements, once you receive both the files, you will send the acknowledgement. So in that way also it can work. Okay, yes. So basically these cumulative acknowledgements will help, guys, to be clear. Okay, so after every some amount of time you will send this acknowledgement, because if you think that you will keep on waiting for someone to come and you will say that I will give acknowledgement after you, means you will not give acknowledgement, and the the sender's timeout timer may end, right? So that is the reason why after some particular moment of time you will send the acknowledgements. Got it? Yes. So that is cumulative acknowledgement. So here we are using the normal traditional acknowledgement where I'm sending each and every acknowledgement individually. Okay, yes. So up through threshold we will use this particular exponential growth. Okay, so the next phase will be congestion avoidance phase. Okay, so what we do in congestion avoidance is after reaching through the threshold, sender increases the congestion window size linearly, like +1, +1, +1, +1. Got it? Yes. So this is congestion avoidance. So once this congestion avoidance phase is going on, while it is going on only, we will start detecting the congestion, guys. So when we will detect the congestion, guys, if you recall, it is nothing but the detection timeout, right? So basically, if the timeout timer has been ended, or we got 3 acknowledgements, right? Yes. So in a timeout timer, so basically the packet has been failed, right? So it did not even receive, or the acknowledgement has been lost. So here what we do is we update the threshold to half of our current size, and we will set our congestion window to 1 MSS, guys. Okay, and similarly, if 3 duplicate acknowledgement came, so it indirectly means that only that particular packet has been lost, right? So that is the reason why instead of setting our MSS to 1, we will set it to our new threshold. Got it? Yes. So now you got the idea, right? So how exactly it is working? Yes. So the same diagram which I have drawn in my paper, on the paper which we have discussed, so is exactly written here, guys. Got it? Yes. So if you start here, it is called as fast recovery. Okay? Yes. So now you got the idea, right? So how exactly the flow of congestion control is being taken care. Okay, so there could be some numerical questions on this particular flow and all those things, guys. Anyway, we'll be discussing in our PYQs, so don't worry. Okay, yes. So in the next lecture, we'll be discussing about the timer, guys. So basically, I told that we will be working with timeout timer, but I never told the exact formula or anything with respect to timeout timer, right? Yes. So that is what we'll be discussing in the next lecture. So there are various timers, guys. So we'll be discussing about each and every one of them in the next lecture. Okay, yes. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more awesome videos like this. Thank you.